Hi there guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'll be searing a T-bone steak in the frying pan using garlic and butter as a basting, probably one of the most simplest ways to cook a steak. So this T-bone steak weighs half a kilo, to be precise 510 grams. I've taken this steak out of the fridge about an hour ago so to bring it up to room temperature. This aids in the cooking process so the steak cooks evenly throughout. If you was to take it directly out of the fridge and straight into the frying pan, then the outer edge would be cooking much quicker than the inner, which would give an uneven cook throughout. On a T-bone steak you get two bits of meat, the sirloin steak and the tenderloin steak, which are both separated by a bone down the middle which is in the shape of a T, hence the name T-bone steak. Whilst the steak is cooking, I'm going to be basting the steak in some garlic butter. To make that, I'm just going to use 2 cloves of garlic and some fresh butter. The actual portion of butter is going to be about 1 tablespoon, and I'm going to chop up the garlics into small pieces. To get the garlic out of its skin, I find it easier to crush the garlic using the back of the knife, and it should just break out. Like that. So I'm going to cut the garlic into not fine, but slightly chunky pieces. For the butter, I'm just going to use about a tablespoon's worth. Put that in the bowl ready. I'm using fresh butter here, so you have to be careful when cooking that you don't burn the butter. With the garlic, I'm going to add the garlic before I add the butter. This will allow the garlic to cook a little bit and to release some of its flavours. Then when there's only a couple of minutes left, I will add the butter to melt, mix it with the garlic and baste the actual steak. I'm using the garlic butter as a basting, not as an oil to cook the steak on. There's a risk of burning the actual butter, so I don't want to ruin the whole steak by having burnt butter, which is a very bitter and not very pleasant taste. To help the steak get a good sear when it goes into the frying pan, you want to take as much moisture off the outside of the steak as possible. To do this, you can use a piece of tissue just to dab away any moisture that's on the outside. Do that on both sides. Just helps to get rid of any excess moisture. I always like to season my steak with salt and pepper before adding it to the frying pan. Also, when adding salt, it also helps to draw out any moisture within the steak. I normally do this about 15 to 20 minutes before adding it to the frying pan. Salt, pepper. I do it on both sides. Right, I'll leave that to sit now for about 15 minutes. I'll come back to it and I'll give that a final dab with some tissue just to take off any additional moisture that's come to the surface due to the salt penetrating the actual meat. Right, just before putting my steak in, I'm just going to dab the outside again to get any excess moisture that's come out of the steak through salting it. And then I'm going to put that straight in. When laying down your steak into the pan, try and lay it away from you, which stops any oil splashing up onto you. I'm going to sear my steak for 2 to 3 minutes on both sides. Okay, that's been searing now for about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes on this first side. I'm going to flip it over now for the first time. Beautiful. Look at that first here. I've added the garlic now. Just want to cook that garlic just for 30 seconds to release some of that flavour. I don't want to add the butter too early because I don't want to risk burning the butter and then possibly ruining the steak. The butter is purely just to baste the steak, give it some additional flavour. Right. Going to add that butter in. That should melt quite quickly. Right, the butter's melted instantly. Just gonna scoop some of that butter up, garlic butter, and just use it as a basting. Whilst that steak is still frying away, getting a bit of a basting on both sides. That steak is now ready to come off. I'm going to put it onto the chopping board and leave it to sit now for about 10 minutes. Cover it with a piece of oil. Just to let it rest. Let those juices come back. Okay, this steak has had about 10 minutes to rest now, so let's have a look how it's looking. Oh, you can see all the juices come out. That is looking wonderful. It's a really nice outer crust. Nice and firm. All the juices have been coming out. So we've got our sirloin piece here and our tenderloin here. Let's cut that open and see how it looks. So when you're cutting, you want to cut against the grain. So my grain is running this way here, so I want to be cutting it this way. Just cut that fat off first. This steak looks like it's cooked perfectly. Still very juicy, as you can see, cooked evenly throughout. You can see how it's still nice and red in the middle and it's contained all that juice. Now let's cut a piece of the tenderloin and see how that looks inside. Oh, that looks nice. Beautiful crust on the outside. Nice and crispy, can't wait to taste this. I'm going to slice up the rest of it here because I can't wait to taste it. Right, I can't actually wait to taste this one. This has been cooked so well, it's come out perfectly, so juicy, still red in the middle. It's been cooked to a medium rare. Well, no more talking, let's get trying. This is a bit of the sirloin piece first. That is so nice. The crust nice and crispy. The flavours is unreal. But sirloin is always one of my favourite pieces of steak, and this is no doubt one of the better pieces. Oh my god. That's so good. It's juicy, it's crunchy, flavoursome with the butter on the outside. You can taste a hint of garlic, but it's not overly too powerful, taking away the taste of the meat. Now for the tenderloin. Oh my god. As the name says, so tender, it literally just crumbles away. Oh. That is amazing. Really, honestly amazing. No rubbish here. That is unreal. Unreal. The crust as well, the crust adds to it. You've got to sear your steak properly. With this steak, I've added to it some of my homemade coleslaw, which you can see here. I've got a separate video of how I go about making that, and I'll add the link in the description below. For an update on some of my upcoming videos, I've already bought some more T-bone steaks. I've got another 3 of them coming. So I'm going to be cooking them in a slightly different way. So please like and subscribe and watch out for those future videos coming. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to support the channel and let's get this channel growing. If you could like this video and subscribe, so then you'll be notified of when my future videos come out. Please help and support the channel to grow. The channel can only grow if you subscribe, so it's very much appreciated. If you'd like to add a comment into this video of what other meats you want me to cook, please do so, and I will look at those and try and go about incorporating some of those into my videos. Thank you very much for watching.